Global Gathering 2010, we are backstage with the man that if you've ever been clubbing and you've said the phrase, the judge won't budge. Mr. Judge Jules, hello sir.
Yeah, you live and die by your catchphrase, don't you? Is it good to have a catchphrase? I don't know.
I think so, but one thing I've noticed for you, first of all, geeky anorak thing. I've been clubbing to your sounds for like the last 10 years in Ibiza and now here at Global, and I mean definitely your interaction with the crowd, just the personal touch you have, is I think it's really key to your performance.
It's just, for me, I've always been 51% a clubber and 49% a DJ, and you know, for the real musos that might be a negative thing, but I think in the bigger scheme of things, that does me a lot of favours, and it's not an act, it's what I love, you know, clubbing's a social thing, and you don't want to be some boring DJ who sits up there kind of looking down at his records, what I call a heads down DJ, who looks down, does a very pernickety, clever mix, but actually has no kind of connection with what the crowd's all about.
And there are so many of them.
There are. I won't name any.
No, but there are so many of them. You've just done your electro set, which I caught earlier on. Do you prefer electro or your big room style? What does it for you more?
I like a lot of different areas of music. I mean, those are two areas of music that I'm fortunate enough to be able to play. I do my night in Ibiza, and I play in two separate rooms. You know, I'm best known for trance, love trance. Like doing a kind of housey thing every now and then, because I think if you were to ask any DJ, they'll tell you that they like to, you know, do a little curveball and play something different. I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of other areas of music that I love, that I'd love to do sets as well. I love drum and bass, really like chill out tunes, but obviously you can't do everything. But I'm lucky enough to have had the opportunity to do my normal stuff, the kind of fodder of what I'm about, and a little bit off the side as well.
Now, from a DJ's point of view, you can come in, you can play a night, and you can be alongside some big names. But to actually be in Ibiza and not only have your own night, but established for so long, what kind of feeling is that, and how did it all start?
Oh, to have your own night in Ibiza clearly is very important for me as a way of rebranding yourself, because you know, clubbers come and go, and I don't say that in a kind of a dismissive way. You know, people seem to have maybe a 2 or 3 year window where they go out to clubs really madly, and then they you know, move on to other things, maybe have more serious relationships. Some of them go into having families, and dare we say it. And therefore, as a DJ, you do need to reinvent yourself constantly, and that's in my case, it's not necessarily a particularly conscious thing. I'm able to reinvent myself because I love it, and I think that love is probably quite infectious. And Ibiza is a great way of selling yourself to both people who are existing fans in the loosest sense of the word, but also new people who are maybe seeing you for the first time. And you know, my Night Judgment Sundays, you know, touch wood, is very successful, but it's not through complacency. You can't just assume people are going to kind of come queuing up outside the club. You've got to really put a lot into it, but both in terms of the staging and the promotion of the event itself, and for me as a DJ too.
No, I'm a massive fan. I don't wish to appear to be such a geek, but there's a Judge Jules Jr. If they come along and say, "Daddy, I want to be a DJ,"
I've got. I'm gonna have a son. I've got a couple of little ones actually. I don't know really. They're thankfully they're sufficiently young that if they you know what do really small kids want to do? They want to be firemen and kind of engine drivers.
Until the DJ is a successful DJ, it's like, teach me the decks.
I think the problem, as I've said to my son, who tried to do some mixing, and it just ended up being a big row between me and him. I think I said that clearly you understand what clubbing's about. You know, some of the pre-parties, some of the bar stuff we do in Ibiza, where any ages can go. He's come and watched me do what I do, and it's nice that he can kind of experience what I do. He can't go to any clubs, obviously, because he's way too young. But at the same time, I tried teaching him once, and I think the moral of the story is that somebody else separate needs to teach him, because there was just too much for a massive row when it happened.
The argument, and it's still going on, and certainly for me, laptop Mac, Serato Ableton, or good old plain fashion CDs.
I don't know. I mean, when you travel around to lots of different gigs, and you know, for example, today here at Global, I'm doing one set in one arena, another relatively soon after in another. It's very difficult to do the laptop thing because the kind of wiring factor, the spaghetti factor, makes it quite complicated. Going from A to B rapidly. If you're a resident DJ who constantly appears in the same club, who's got your laptop permanently kind of hardwired in, then it's perfectly possible to use a laptop. I mean, I thought about getting an iPad and because I thought in certain ways that kind of counteracted the one negative issue that I have about DJs playing on laptops, which is if you're a DJ that's not very demonstrative in front of the crowd, it really highlights the fact. And there's certain DJs who just look like they're answering their emails, whereas I thought, well, I am demonstrative. I like the fact that with laptops or with a digital kind of platform, you can access the music very quickly. So I thought, well, maybe I'll use an iPad and I'll still be kind of out there going kind of crazy, but I've got the ease of use that a laptop stroke iPad brings along. But that was a theory. I still haven't got round to doing it. So.
And my final question, really cheeky. I'm out for a bit in Ibiza for the Radio 1 weekend. Can I have guest list, please?
If you're very nice.
Global Gathering 2010 with the legend Judge Jules. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Hi there. This is Judge Jules, and you're checking out thestudentpocketguide.com.